Thanks for tuning in to Red Belt Radio. The following episode is scheduled for one fall. I'm Jason, and this show is dedicated to World Wonder Ring Stardom. Today I'm covering the Stardom faction that merges creativity, youth, skill, championship excellence, agility, and multiple sets of cat ears in order to stand out from the rest. Today I answer the question, what is Neogenesis? And I'll try to highlight why this decorated group exemplifies the concepts of recency and inventiveness reflective of the Taro Okada regime. Starlight Kid, Azumi, Seira, and Miyu Amasaki have made a big impact on World Wonder Ring Stardom in a short period, despite facing fierce competition and even betrayal. We must begin with the faction's origin and backstory. There are a couple of possible places to start, but arguably the most pivotal is the event known as the Conversion on June 22nd, 2024. This is where, at the time, Queen's Quest members Azumi and Miyu Amasaki were forced to abandon their faction due to the stipulations surrounding their faction war with Oedo. Defeated and driven to tears, the two were approached by the unaffiliated Starlight Kid, who had also been devastated by the actions of Oedo in April of 2024. Starlight Kid had just defeated the unaffiliated Seira earlier in the night, and she entered the ring with both Seira and Seira's frequent tag partner Suzuki not far behind. Azumi and Miyu were not yet ready to accept Starlight Kid's offer to form an alliance. But these five wrestlers would begin teaming up in the weeks that followed. July 27th, 2024 was the official debut of Neogenesis at Sapporo Wonder Rendezvous, with the faction's name, group theme song, and overall aesthetic revealed to the world. From that point forward, the faction Neogenesis has remained both extremely active and extremely relevant. If you find these transmissions valuable, please give this a like, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment to let me know what you think. We must venture forth to the faction's identity and tactics. The identity of Neogenesis is first defined by the fact that every member besides Starlight Kid was born in the year 2002. This establishes the group as something unique, something generational. Coinciding with this aspect of the group is a focus on high-energy wrestling and high-energy personas. This faction's stylistic identity is denoted by a vast array of colors, and each theme song contains some electronic elements. Neogenesis is the faction most likely to become part of the local club scene on their off nights. They are the faction that wants to have fun. And it's hard not to have fun when you're winning as many titles as they are. Tactically, this group uses quickness and agility to gain an edge over the other factions. Their offense is dynamic and frequently leaves the ground. Collectively, they may be Stardom's most threatening faction when it comes to flash pins and lightning-fast roll-ups. Without making this section too long, it should be mentioned that Starlight Kid, Azumi, and Seira are three of the fastest, most imaginative, and most gifted wrestlers in the entire company. It's not at all a surprise that all three of these wrestlers have been high-speed champions at some point in time, with Azumi being the greatest high-speed champion ever in the history of Stardom. These three wrestlers are all incredibly well-rounded, and they all have traits that make them stand out from the pack. In their biggest matches, they will do something that surprises you, guaranteed. With Starlight Kid and Azumi in particular becoming smarter and more deceptive against their most frequently met opponents with each passing year. We must march onward to the faction's enemies and key moments. Perhaps the greatest recent enemy of Neogenesis is the person they once called friend. Former faction member Suzuki, who smashed Seira's head with a steel chair and went completely rogue on April 2nd, 2025. Suzu had never quite fit the colorful, cute dynamic of the group. And while the other members continued winning belts and celebrating, Suzu was increasingly falling short. After multiple miscommunications with Seira in the ring, Suzu went to a very dark place, and at the time of this recording, she still seems to be there. All-Star Grand Queendom on April 27th provided this faction with two key moments on the same night. Firstly, Seira tried and failed to exact revenge on Suzuki in one of this year's most intense matches. Afterwards, Starlight Kid defeated Azumi, her lifelong rival and eternal foe, to establish herself as the official leader of the faction. This marked Azumi's first ever white belt challenge and Starlight Kid's third defense in an already notable and landmark reign. Like everyone in Stardom, Neo Genesis is also pestered and mocked by the faction known as H.A.T.E. Somewhat recently, the Artist of Stardom titles were stolen from Neo Genesis by H.A.T.E. But fortunately, the belts were reclaimed and defended successfully on May 24th, 2025. This defense was unique as it was not only an elimination match, but it featured three separate teams, Neo Genesis, H.A.T.E., and Suzuki's new faction, Vida Loca. We must fly swiftly to the faction's titles and accolades. The day after the debut of Neo Genesis, Seira defeated Saya Kamitani to become high-speed champion for the second time in her career. At Stardom Dream Queendom on December 29, 2024, Starlight Kid reached a career milestone and defeated Natsupoi to become Wonder of Stardom champion. On January 23, 2025, Neo Genesis defeated Empress Nexus Venus in the finals of the Unit Tag League. Then, on February 2nd, Neo Genesis defeated Cosmic Angels to become the Artist of Stardom champions. Lastly, Azumi joined an exclusive club that includes Willow Nightingale, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and Mercedes Moné when she won a triple threat match to become New Japan Women's Strong Champion on May 9th at Resurgence. All of these titles are still under the control of Neo Genesis at the time of this recording. They've had quite an impressive run so far. It should also be stated that Starlight Kid's current Wonder of Stardom reign is something that you simply cannot miss. Not only are the matches, emotions, and storytelling on another level, but Starlight Kid has found even more ways to make this title her own, including her all-white presentation and the fact that she brings a white rose for each successful title defense to the ring. We must drive further to the faction's setbacks and criticisms. The betrayal perpetrated by Suzuki remains a major setback for the group. But prior to this betrayal, Suzu was herself the target of online harassment pertaining to her appearance and visible change in size. Starlight Kid has experienced a rough 2025 despite putting on fantastic matches, defending two separate belts. She seems to be troubled by a recurring shoulder injury of some kind. Starlight Kid was pulled from shows after the Cinderella finals this year, but she then rushed back into competition and was swiftly pulled from more shows all over again, before committing to her trip to America in April. We can only hope that SLK is not burning herself out like she did in 2023, when she continued wrestling with an ankle injury until things completely fell apart for her. We must now land at the faction's potential for 2025. This is a tough mystery to solve because Neo Genesis has already taken this company by storm, and it's not clear how much further they will be able to climb by the end of 2025. Azumi has a reasonable chance of challenging Saya Kamitani for the red belt, since she was already able to pin Saya Kamitani in a tag match on April 6th. Azumi is also possibly the biggest threat the faction has in this year's 5-star Grand Prix. Furthermore, if the Star Bomb tag team of Starlight Kid and Azumi compete in this year's Goddess Tag League, they will be lethal. If she can stay healthy, Starlight Kid has a good chance of making it to this year's Dream Queendom with the white belt. And Azumi should have multiple chances to defend her New Japan Women's Strong title and gain more international fans. The faction will also likely recruit a new member. Azumi may opt to recruit Emma Maishima, the rookie who debuted against her on May 21st. Alternately, Neo Genesis may set their sights on Tomoka Inaba of God's Eye, as Tomoka just so happens to be the same age as the 2002 contingent of Neo Genesis. Who do you believe are the standout wrestlers of Neo Genesis as a faction? What moments have been their most memorable? And who do you think will dethrone their champions in 2025? If you found this transmission valuable, please give this a like, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment to let me know what you think. Thanks for listening to Red Belt Radio.